Most valuable rare 1891, 1893 commemorative U.S. postage stamps. The Commemorative Telegraph stamp of 1891 is part of the series created for advance payment of telegraph rates. A person who wanted to use it filled out a telegraphic form and handed it to the clerk along with the payment. The employee would then apply and cancel the stamp to prove that the tax had been paid. You will be able to see on the center of the writings, Commercial Union Commutation. Down. The writing Telegraph. To the left. The service granted with the payment of this stamp. 20 words. The customer could write 20 words on the form to be transmitted by telegram. To the right. The nominal value of the piece. The 25-cent rate of the US dollar. Stamp issued in millions of copies. Today it's worth $60. The Telegraph postal stamp of 1892. It is part of the Telegraph stamp series. It was used by private companies to be used on your telegrams. Like other similar pieces, this stamp has engravings and prints of high quality to discourage counterfeiters. In America until 1892, there was economic growth, and the telegraph played an important role in nation building. Telegraphic communication was revolutionary. It replaced the Pony Express service. Former service organized in 200 stations, 25,000 away from each other, along a route, where the person who knew how to ride a horse well. It guaranteed delivery in almost 10 days. The pay for the rider was good. $25 a week. Equal to $4,600 today. And at every route and station, they changed horses to take the most rested one, riding non-stop, day and night, thus guaranteeing delivery on the established days. You will be able to see different writings on the center, which indicate the service offered. A message to be delivered consisting of 20 words. Under. The year of issue of this piece. 1892. Stamp issued in millions of copies. Today it is worth $160. The complimentary stamp of 1892. Bring it back up. The written. Western Union Telegraph Company. The company that offered postal service via telegraph. Information and news deliveries. They could be sent from east to west quickly. Left and right. The year of issue of this piece. 1892. A peculiarity that existed in 1892 in the country. It was the Geary Act, which was imposed on all Chinese residents in the United States to bring a residence permit with you. An internal passport. The United States had had a large number of Chinese immigrants who entered the country. Due to the California gold rush, immigration got out of control, and the federal government to have its own registry issued this law. Who was found without permission, it was punishable by deportation or a year of hard labor. Stamp issued in millions of copies. Today it is worth $200. The Columbian Commemorative Stamp MP of 1893. It was issued in the collection of the 400th anniversary of the discovery of America. On the center, Christopher Columbus is depicted, explaining in front of Queen Isabella his project, crossing the Atlantic Ocean to discover the lands beyond the ocean. Mission that ended with the discovery of America. From Europe. Behind the table. A commission of people, commissioned by the Queen herself, to evaluate the feasibility of Columbus' voyage. A feasibility approved 4 years later. The presentation of this project. Up. The date is reported. 1492. Years of discovery of America. To the right. 1892. Year of issue and anniversary of this piece. Postage stamp worth 5 cents of the US dollar. It was first exhibited in the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. In 1893. International Fair commemorating the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Christopher Columbus in the New World. Piece printed on tissue paper. It has a 12 mm perforation. And today it is worth $225. The Columbus Fleet stamp of 1893. It depicts the ships with which Christopher Columbus left. 3 ships, which became part of the history of the world. Captain Santa Maria, of 200 tons, the 140-ton Pinta, and the Nina with its 100 tons of weight. All three ships were three-masted. They were sailed by over 120 men. During shipping, the flagship Santa Maria ran aground, and due to the strong wind, she remained completely out of commission, forcing the entire crew to abandon ship and to sail on the Nina, the first boat that managed to sea land. It was the Pinta. Up. The date 1492 is reported. Year of discovery of America. To the right. 1892. Year of commemoration of the 400th anniversary since the discovery of the New World. Under. The written. United States of America. Lower. The nominal value of the piece. 4 cents of the American dollar. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 19,181,000 copies, with a 12 serration. Today it is worth $420. The 1893 Columbian 10-cent stamp depicts a Christopher Columbus, who wanted to demonstrate to the Spaniards that they had reached a new land. To the left, you will be able to see the indigenous people of the Bahamas Islands, who were caught and forcibly deported to Spain. To the right, the royals of the Spanish Peninsula, including Queen Isabella, that you immediately believed in Colombo's project for the discovery of the New World. Up. The date 1492. Year of discovery of the new land. America. To the right. The date 1892. Year of the 400th anniversary of the discovery. This stamp was issued in the First World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago in 1893. And it was also the first time that a stamp was being used to promote an international trade event. This piece is part of the series of stamps dedicated to Columbus, and it was the first American commemorative series, which created a worldwide phenomenon and of great interest in the philately market. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 16,516,000 copies, with a 12 serration. Today it is worth $440. The 50-cent postage due stamp of 1891. It had the particularity of not requiring advance payment for mail delivery. The fee was paid by the recipient. On the center, the nominal value of the piece is reported, and the rate that was paid by those who received the mail. In this case, 50 cents of the American dollar. Around. The writings postage to. Under. The nominal value of the piece reported in letters. In 1891, the BIP, acronym for the Stamp Manufacturing Company, Bureau of Engraving and Printing, changed the design slightly, with which these pieces were designed. Previously the numbers appeared in an oval design. Now with this new version, the figure was inside a circle. Stamp issued in millions of copies. Today it is worth $825. The 30-cent postage due stamp of 1891 is part of the postage due series, which allowed those who sent the correspondence not to pay anything in advance, but to make the recipient of the letter pay the fee. The first stamps of postage too. They date back to 1879. Over time both their design has been modified, and their color. On the center, you will be able to see the number 30, which indicates the nominal value of the piece. 30 cents of the American dollar. Around. The writings. Post to. This type of stamps. It will be taken out of circulation after more than 100 years of its use. In 1985, when it was considered obsolete, stamp issued in millions of copies. Today it is worth $830. The 1893 Columbian 1-cent stamp. It is the first of a series of commemorative stamps of the 400th anniversary of the discovery of the New World. On the center, Columbus is depicted looking at the horizon above his boat Nina. This image represents the view of the Earth. Even if history teaches us that America, it was first seen by a sailor who was on the ship Pinta. To the left and right, the indigenous peoples who inhabited the American territory up to that time. Up. The date 1492. Discovery of America. To the right. 1892. Anniversary year. Under. The writing United States of America. With the nominal value of the piece indicated. 1 cent of the US dollar. Very soon. The indigenous peoples noticed that the Spanish colonizers. They exploited them and appropriated them. And their freedom. Then their possessions. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 440 million copies. With a 12 serration. Today a sheet containing 50 of these pieces is worth $1,500. The 1893 Columbian 30-cent stamp depicts the moment when the explorer Christopher Columbus. He went to La Rábida in southwestern Spain, where he met ship owner Martin Alonso Pinzon. The image shows the moment when Columbus stood up, touching a globe, and illustrates his plan and desire to sail west, across the ocean. Pinzon, sitting on the right. On the other side of the table, the ship owner was convinced and strongly supported Colombo's venture. So much so that Pinzon left with him as commander of the ship Pinta. Up. The date 1492. Year of discovery of the New World. To the right. 1892. Year of anniversary in commemoration of the 400th anniversary of the discovery. A little further down. The written. United States of America. With the nominal value of the piece. 30 cents of the US dollar. Stamp that is part of the Columbian series. He was released on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 617,000 copies. With a 12 serration. Today it is worth $835. The 1893 Columbian 50-cent stamp depicts Columbus on top of his horse, traveling to the Spanish royal court. In 1490. Christopher Columbus. He had not yet managed to obtain financing for his project and desire of the journey west. It was thanks to the monks of La Rábida Monasterio in southeastern Spain to convince Columbus to contact the Spanish monarchs and try again to convince them to finance their trip. Father Juan Perez, monk of La Rábida, supported Columbus's venture, and he said a good word to Queen Isabella. Because Perez, in the past he was the Queen's former confessor, the good word had its fruits, and the Queen accepted Columbus' project. Up. You will be able to see the dates shown on all the stamps of the Columbian series. 1492. Year of discovery of America. And 1892. 400th anniversary year. Under. The nominal value of the piece. 50 cents of the American dollar. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 243,750 copies. With a 12 serration. Today it is worth $1,615. The 1893 Columbian $4 stamp represents the faces of Queen Isabella and the explorer Christopher Columbus, the latter remembered by history for his discoveries, including America, and she for her great economic generosity, who financed Columbus' voyage. To the left, you will be able to see the face of the Queen of Castile and Leon, a vast territory of Spain, that thanks to her marriage to King Ferdinand of Aragon, they united the crowns of Spain, and they became the first kings of Spain in history. To the right, the face of the navigator Christopher Columbus, who was driven by curiosity to cross the ocean. He initially thought he was sailing the Atlantic Ocean westward. He would find East Asia, the so-called Indies. Instead he found American territory, an incredible discovery, which revolutionized both the Spanish and European economies, both the geography of the planet. Up. The date 1492. Year of discovery in America. To the right. 1892. Year of the 400th anniversary of the discovery of the new territory. Under. The written. United States of America. Followed by the nominal value of the piece. $4 of the American dollar. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 26,350 pieces. With a 12 serration. Today it is worth $3,500. The 3-cent stamp of 1893. Depicted in the center. The Santa Maria. Columbus flagship. The largest vessel in its fleet. It was 26 meters long. 8 meters wide. And had 40 people on board. Up. The classic writings that are part of the Columbian series are shown. The anniversary dates. And the nominal value of the piece. 3 cents of the US dollar. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1893. It had a circulation of 11,501,000 copies. W. At the 12 serration. Today a sheet containing 50 of these specimens. It's worth $4,500.